Remember when the electric grid went down in 1965, and it affected New York and 7 neighboring states to one degree or another. And I was running a Sunoco gas station, and we couldn't pump gas. And of course, when the power goes out, you have no air conditioning, you have no heat, you have no electricity. The gas pumps doesn't work. You don't have lights when it becomes evening. If you need heat or air conditioning, you're out of luck. And you can't pump gas because even the gas pumps work on electricity. And it was an example of what can happen when the electric grid goes down. And what happened was some kind of power station went down, and one after another power stations failed. It was like a chain reaction. And the world was like in the 1880s, I should say, where you had no power, no electricity, no lights, no nothing. I noticed that recently the world, the country is sponsoring solar power, and you see all the solar units on roofs of houses. And I know that the phone companies started putting up solar units on telephone poles, and I understood that 20% of their power was to be gotten by solar, and it was mandated years ago. And little by little, they're going to electric cars, they're going to solar on roofs. The phone companies encouraging solar, and a lot of people don't realize that the original electric cars in the 1880s were all electric. They weren't fuel powered. And what you had to do is you had to go to the front of the car and it had a crank and you had to get it going. And then eventually they went to fossil fuel because it was a cheap alternative. You didn't have to crank the car to get it started. And you can go long distances without having to recharge the batteries or whatever. But this is what happens when the electric grid goes. But thank God they're going more towards solar, green energy, and they're going back to electric cars. But actually, fossil fuels aren't the big problem. Why you need the oil. The oil makes plastic, and everything's made out of plastic. It also makes asphalt, it makes tires, anything made out of petroleum products. And gasoline's only a small part of it. It's a small story.